Here is the productivity routine that got me perfect grades, YouTube success, time with friends, and hours of exercise to completely change the way that I look in just 1 year. If you just turn your brain off and follow this routine for a few months, you will change your life. And here's a little secret. Sometimes when I tell people this is my routine that got me success, they literally think I'm lying because that's how simple it is. So without further ado, let's get into the video. I don't know why I said le. I'm not French. The video. Chapter 1, the detailed routine. I'm going to take you through my whole day as detailed as possible. So I wake up at about 6 a.m. naturally without an alarm clock. Then I grab my phone immediately and read my goals / my to-do list, which I probably prepared the night before or I prepared at the start of the week. Once I've read it for about 5 minutes from 6 to 6:05, I'll put some work on my desk the night before so that when I wake up, the work is already there. I usually pick quite simple work, so I actually want to wake up. I actually want to go do it. So this is called the work burst. You do this simple task for 5 to 10 minutes from 6:15 to 6:30 around there. Then, since I'm awake now, since this is like a warm-up to the actual work, I'm gonna take a short break, go downstairs, get some coffee, so like I'm awake times 2 now, and I come back up and I start the real Eat the Frog session. If you don't know what Eat the Frog is, basically you do the hardest task first thing in the morning, so the rest of the day seems way easier. So from 7 all the way to 9, this is my 2-hour Eat the Frog session, which is like my first deep work session of the day. After that, this is when usually I will shower and go to school. My school starts at like 9 or 10 because I'm not in high school anymore. So that's pretty like chill for me. I can use my mornings more productively. I get on my bike, I cycle to school, doesn't take that long. And then once I'm at school, I spend about 8 hours there or 9 hours there till 5 p.m., which is kind of long. But here's the thing that I do. In school, I try to batch my social time there as well. Since I'm already with my friends, during my breaks, I need to spend as much time with them as possible so that at least my social battery is not completely drained. Because if you go this like kind of monk mode, simple routine, you might start missing friends, you might feel burnt out because you have no social interaction. So this is how you avoid it. You use school time to batch your social time. Another thing is to contain all your schoolwork within school hours. And so this is like a gem of advice I'm going to drop for you. If you have goals that are not study related, so maybe you have studies as one goal, but you also have like business or fitness on the side, make sure that all your study stuff is finished within school. If you can contain it there, meaning after school, maybe you stay back 1 or 2 hours just to finish off the homework, and then you go home. When you go home, you can completely focus on just fitness. You can completely focus on just the business because now it's not contaminated. You know what I mean? It's like when you get home, you don't have to take out your homework and start doing it on your desk. Your desk space is just completely, like my desk space right now, is completely YouTube optimized. I literally put my YouTube plaque here. I have like the whiteboard to draw stuff for my YouTube videos. Home is for those goals. School is for school. Speaking of going home, I do that from 5 to 5:30, and then I kind of rest at home and eat dinner from 5:30 to 7, which is quite long. And so for most people, I think we're tired after school, right? And so people ask me, oh, Raf, how do you study after school? And my answer is like, why would you study immediately after you go home? I know you want to get stuff done, but if the work is going to be suboptimal anyway, you may as well just rest fully. Some people, they go home and they do like shallow work for 2 hours and you don't even get anything done. I'd rather you rest for 2 hours and then just have a short 30-minute or 1 hour work session before you sleep, and that one session be really good. So now I'll have my second deep work session from 7 to 9. And so this is when I do my personal goals. So recording these videos, editing these videos, maybe if I have like a call in my private community, I'll take that as well from 7 to 9. This is my time for myself. I think this quote from Alex Hormozi perfectly summarizes this. Your 9 to 5 isn't killing your dreams. Wasting your 5 to 9 is. And so the reason that you don't have your goals isn't because school takes up most of your day. Like, bro, I go to school as well. All the successful teenagers you see also go to school, but they can still build a YouTube channel. They can still build a business. They can still do the things that they want to do. Why? Because they don't waste their time outside of school. They schedule it every day to get the work done. And so they still get the success. Then from 9 to 10, maybe I'll get like a little snack before I sleep. I'll watch a podcast maybe for an hour, and then I'll go to sleep. And so I love the simplicity of this routine. You just have 2 deep work sessions. 1 in the morning before you go to school, 1 in the evening before you sleep. And so the way that you do this is basically whatever the priority of your day is, whatever your focus is, put it in the morning one. So let's say that day, my focus is like, oh, I need to really get this assignment done. That morning session will be studying. Then the evening one can be like editing a video. If that day I really need to record a video like what I'm doing right now, guess what? I'm going to school in about 1 hour. I'm recording this in my morning work session. I'm gonna go to school. At night, I can edit it or I can study. And this also means that if something comes up in the morning, I have to go to school earlier for some reason, or at night there's an event or there's a birthday party, I have another deep work session that keeps me safe, so I can at least get stuff done every single day. And so flexibility is the main thing here. You don't want to have too many moving parts in your routine, because the more moving parts a machine has, the more likely it is to break. And so a lot of people have glass routines where it's very rigid. If I just tap it, it'll break. Mine is more like a ruler. You know, when you flick a ruler, it just bends and then goes back to normal, right? So before you just copy this schedule and go along your merry way, I don't know who even says merry nowadays unless you're like Santa Claus, you need to adapt this for your own goals. And so I think a lot of people feel overwhelmed because they know their goals, but they don't see it in their daily routine. You know what I mean? It's like if you see a guy, like imagine this guy, and he has 2 tasks in his day. Task A, he spends 9 hours a day on it. Task B, he spends 1 hour a day on it. Which one would you say is his goal right now? You'd say task A, right? But task A is school, task B is the YouTube channel he wants to build. And he actually wants to do this one, but it doesn't reflect it in his routine, right? And so that's the same thing with you. If you're not getting to your goals, it's not reflected in your routine. I promise you that. And so here's how we're going to translate our goals to our routine by building this bird's eye view. Simply, we're going to write down a list just like this one. Wow, look at it. It's beautiful. And so every week, what are the hard hours of work that you spend doing stuff? So how much do you need to do per task? And so when I say hard hours, I mean the time you're actually sitting down to work. Like you're actually at the desk. What soft hours is like the time commuting to school. Does it make sense? So like the hard hours of school might be 8 hours of school, but you still spend 1 hour going to school, 1 hour going back. So you have 2 hours of soft hours that you need to take into account as well. And so if you struggle to schedule properly, or like you schedule stuff but then it kind of gets pushed back, and you never get stuff done in your day, it might be because you just didn't take into account those soft hours. And so I'm going to read to you my list. I'm going to get my editor to put it on the screen. Please like put it here. Thanks, Bookie. So weekly hours sit down time. Here's the total hours I spend for each activity, each goal that I have in my life. Firstly, YouTube, 5 hours total, 1 hour of recording, 1 hour of writing, and then 3 hours editing. Editing takes the most time for me. I also have an editor to produce twice as many videos. If not, I'll upload like once every 7 years. School, which is my private community, I spend 3 hours a week, 2 calls, each 1 hour, and then I have my posts that I post in there and my DMs that I like reply to people. It takes about 1 hour total, right? 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there every single day. Adds up to about 1 hour. Then we have school, like proper school, not like this, not this school. School will be 70 hours. This is the biggest one. 9 hours of classes per day. And then I also have homework, which is 1 hour a day. Then the last thing is just exercise, which is sports, 2 hours per week. The reason it's so low is because I cycle every day to school. So even if I want to do more exercise, I probably can't. Like, name me another person that cycles 10 kilometers per day. It's really tiring. So at the bottom, I actually wrote this thing, which is as long as I have 2-3 hours for myself from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. or from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., which is like those 2 work sessions I talked about, I'm good. I can actually accomplish everything I need to get accomplished. Because if I added it all together, YouTube is 5, school is 3, and exercise is 2, that's only 10 hours a week, which is about 2-3 hours a day.
So think about it. I maintain my friendships, my health and fitness, I get my grades that I want, and my YouTube success with my private community that generates me income, all with just 2 hours of work a day. That's how easy it is.
And so before I wrote this down, my routine felt so big and hard to manage. But once I did, I was like, oh yeah, it's just 2 hours a week. Yeah, this one's like 3 hours a week. Yeah, I could easily schedule this. Kind of like how you walk into a messy room and then you spend like, an hour cleaning your room up. You put the bedsheet properly, put everything where it's supposed to be. At the end, there's still the equal amount of things in the room, right? The amount of things didn't change. But because you organized it nicely, now the room looks really livable, really open.
And so right now, your daily routine is the equivalent of a messy room. Once you do this practice and you write down everything and get it organized, you have an organized routine. And your organized room is way better to live in, even though it's the same amount of stuff anyway. So the practical way you do this is you start with the big headings like school, fitness, friends, and then you write down the amount of time that you spend per week. And those things that are your goal, you just try to increase the time. Those things that are not your main goal, you try to decrease it. That's all.
Chapter 3, the anti-routine. Remember in the beginning of the video, I said, people don't even believe me when I say this is my routine because they think it's too simple. This is the thing. A lot of people, when they want to get successful, what do? They look at successful people. And so imagine someone wants YouTube success and they see, oh, Raf only spends like 1 hour a day on YouTube. That's easy. I'm just going to do that. The thing is, I already have the 200k subscribers, but you don't. You can't look at me now when I'm here. You have to look at me when I was also at 0 subscribers, where you're at. And so what was I doing? It wasn't 1 hour a day. It was more like 5 or 6 hours a day just spent on researching YouTube, looking at thumbnails that I liked, making new videos, writing, recording, editing. And so this is the thing that most people that make this routine like kind of videos don't tell you. I'm gonna be honest, I have the really balanced routine right now where I have the friends and the perfect grades, and I also hang out with people online where I do the coaching calls in my community. I make the YouTube videos, I have the exercise, and that's because I already kind of set up my life for success. Like, not to glaze myself like a donut, but I already got the perfect grades like 2 years ago, bro. Like, that's old news. I'm already consistent with exercise. I literally haven't missed a day cycling to school this year. I cycle 10 kilometers every single day. But for you, the truth is you're not as consistent, focused, and as successful as you'd like to be yet. Sorry, I just didn't mean to like completely violate and roast you in the middle of the video. And yo mama, that's okay because you're on your journey and I'm on mine. So when you make your routine, use mine as a template but adapt it to your situation at your position in the race, not at mine. And so I think the best thing you can do, write out your bird's eye view list. That's hard to say, bro. Once you have all those times, slot it into this routine that I've already given you in the beginning of the video, then go try it. Final thing I'll say is that you don't have to get it perfectly on the first try, because let's say that this is your 100% most productive day. Even if you just do 50%, meaning 12 hours of the day you do, the other 12 you can do whatever you want, you still probably had a better day than your average day simply by following half of it. And so when you begin, just get the morning routine down. After a month, get the morning routine plus the afternoon routine down. And after 3-4 months, you'll have the full perfect day. So go to your action steps right now. Take action. By the way, if you're a student on self-improvement and you want my help to get you to your goals faster and easier, like if you got any value from my videos already, check out the first link below. That's Rough Academy, where I help students go through the same transformation that I did, from like unsuccessful, unproductive, lazy, to getting pretty much all my goals in about a year. Little side note, but a lot of people have been joining recently, so I should be increasing the price soon. So if you want in, go click it now. Once you click on it, there'll be like a video that pops up with more information. So yeah, go check it out. Even if you're not sure, just watch that video. I know it will help you, basically. I know it will help you because I've already helped many people. You can look at all the testimonials on the first page. There's a lot of wins that we've gotten in this community. So yeah, go check it out. Go click the first link below. Give me a kiss. Mwah!